Did you know that um, gummy candy edibles are Schedule 2, but if they are in bear shaped form, like a gummy bear, they're actually Schedule 1? I think that's true. Someone might have to fact check me on that, but yeah. The shape makes all of the difference. I'm saying this because it feels almost like a sequel to the first episode, which I guess is kind of like a trailer or whatever. Eating a decapitated gummy bear, which has been the most listened to episode because it has such a great title, and it's actually probably the most uniform and compact, and I'm sorry, I think there's a slight tickling of an edible in me. And it's just really funny retelling that story about eating half a gummy bear and getting so fucking high off of it. Being my first experience with edibles, and then being like, oh, I like it. I think I'd like this. So, where were we? And I am reminded of this. I'm not gonna, talk much about it, but I gave my friend a 10 milligram gummy candy, and it got him too high. And I felt really bad. And we went on a walk, and it kind of just reminded me a lot of when I got too high for the first time. But yeah, I mean, don't obviously always tell someone how much something has, and try and best guess how it might affect them. You might not always be right. But yeah, and I wonder if just, gummy bears are such a good way to deliver versus like candy or other things. I mean, with brownies and chocolates, you do have more fat that could bind too, but there's just something special about the gummy bear. Maybe it's all in our head. So, these candies are called the Cosmic Candies. I left somewhat of a really short review on the Patreon. Don't forget about our Patreon. It's there. Very cool. So cool. I'm really poor. But I won't depress you with that, because if you follow me on Twitter, you've probably already seen it. But anyway, I might leave one, especially once, this edible really gets going. And, yeah, that's where I leave the best reviews, or at least for the shit that I've tried. Now, back to that, yeah. Gummy bears, probably my second favorite. My favorite way to consume is always like a tincture or a drink. I got some of those. And then I usually get the 20 milligrams of these things, I can't remember the name, but you can either drink them or add them to your drink. They're pretty flavorful, so I just drink them. I got a 100 one, but it is actually more like a very thick syrup. So we'll see how that goes. Because I don't think I can drink the 100 milligram. I think that is actually more of like a syrup that I'm gonna have to add to a drink or something. Yeah, but I should say that tinctures are like my favorite way, especially Green Revolution, kind of clear. It doesn't really have anything kosher. So important. Um, and well, I want to talk about one special effect of weed, because Valentine's Day is coming up, and you know, I'm not one to give any love advice or any relationship advice, but you know, weed is an aphrodisiac. And what is an aphrodisiac, you ask? Okay, we interrupt this recording really quick to say that we have 420 plays. And if you just heard that, that's my cat running around. She just turned 1. Yay, baby. But 420, smoke 'em, folks. Or eat them, or whatever. However you want. There's like weed lube. Some is better than other. Which is, again, back to what I was thinking about. An aphrodisiac, named after Aphrodite, the goddess of love and sex. One must imagine Sisyphus crying because he has to fucking push up a boulder every fucking day. He's not happy about it. But anyway, an aphrodisiac is kind of like a sex enhancer, supposedly. Can be their medicine, can be natural, can be food. But it means to like increase libido or your sex drive. Okay, according to Wikipedia, the aphrodisiacs can be done in either a non-plant base, not weed, and plant based. Like weed. We hit the jackpot because not only is, weed under the aphrodisiac, weed even has its own Wikipedia page called Cannabis and Sex. Let's go! So some people report that they experience increased sex drive with weed, and in my experience, I have, yeah. I don't know if the strain makes a difference. Again, we still have to get into that really scientific episode about sativa and indica. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of research because, again, we made the joke of like, one gummy bear is Schedule 1, but the gummy candy is Schedule 2. They're technically both Schedule 1 under this, like, really awful, regressive federal law that, we have. It's just gosh. We need a green revolution. What I just want to say, my homies, Masters and Johnsons, the ones who wrote a lot about sex, apparently in 1979 did a study on it. Cool. Some think it's kind of like a placebo effect. Higher arousal because of ingesting cannabis. I will say personally for me, it's a reality. But yeah, maybe if you want to have some extra fun on Valentine's Day and something that you just enjoy, there you go. There's that piece of information. Something about legal stuff about not being a licensed therapist or anything. I'm just a girl with a podcast that gets really high and just got 420 plays. But I do have that Master and Johnson's book. I will read it one day. Maybe we can read it together one day. But anyway, yeah, it's definitely one thing, that can augment the experience or sex drive. Besides, weed, there is this other aphrodisiacs. There's so many. Some are synthetic, and one of them is adderall. Though when I take it, doesn't have the effect that weed usually does on my sex drive. Doesn't really change it. So now I want to talk about that aphrodisiac. Actually, I'm still high, but and I guess you can stop listening if you really don't want to listen anymore to me talk about the adderall shortage. If you've seen me on Twitter or anywhere really, or are still listening now, because it's something that's really, 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 really fucked up, and I love complaining. And what else do it's I think it's important to think about, and I think it with maybe thinking more about, like, when I mentioned, like, how there's not a lot of studies with weed because of the regulations and this regressive drug policy that we have at a national level. And that also affects prescribed medication, especially you know Adderall, which I take because I have ADHD. One time I said that I feel like I would not have as much fun being high as if I wasn't neurodivergent. I don't know what I meant by that, but some other people who are neurodivergent also agreed. So maybe there's something to it. The thing is that I'm neurodivergent. I have ADHD, and the Adderall shortage is not really a joke to me. So there's an Adderall shortage. Adderall is something that I take so I can function. It's what makes me be able to do things. It really helps my brain. It really improves my life. It's been scientifically proven. And one thing is that a lot of people are like, if I'm mad at people that pretend to have ADHD to get drugs, or that people on TikTok have done it so that everyone has been diagnosed. And I just want to say that maybe that kind of plays into this narrative by a certain regulatory agency about what's going on, sort of treating people who take Adderall as legal junkies. And I mean, like, this kind of judgment on people who do drugs legally or illegally or whatever kills. It makes life very, very hard, and it feels like no one cares, or no one, that no doctor or pharmacist has talked to me about, like, a sort of like replacement, or has given me any assurance, or really seems to care, like, as if I didn't have any glasses, then everyone's like, sorry, the glasses shop is done. And a lot of it, it's like, can be to cultural attitude. It's something else I have to deal with for my anxiety medication. But I digress, and the fact is that VA will throw or say things like overdiagnosed, or that there's an increase in people taking, ADHD medication, or that there is, and that maybe we need to tighten regulation or whatever. So they know there's an increase. So, but they won't increase production. Is it a thing to just force us off? Is it, and it just feels like a very, 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 very awful path that we're looking at when it comes to that, because me, as someone who is taking it and has a script for it, I wonder, like, how difficult will it be for someone who might finally be diagnosed and might finally get treatment, and it's gonna be such an uphill battle? Like, that's not good. That's ableism. That kills. Okay, I didn't mean to get so serious, but maybe it is a really serious situation in that we're going through, and maybe it's just something to really think about, and to think about our relationships with, like, regulatory agencies, the media, each other. Who's deserving and who's not deserving? What are our priorities? You know? Maybe it's something to really think about. It would be cool. It would be so cool. Washington State, you can always, change some of your marijuana laws to make it better. Like, I don't know, having a third place or a mutual consumption site. That would be super cool. Just throwing it out there. Oh, thank you. Hope everyone has a happy Valentine's. We did it. We got 420. Smoke him, drink him, or whatever. Bye.